Well, straight to the action now in the Ballon d'Or. A Ballon d'Or Awards in Paris took place yesterday. Exciting features, but let's start from Nigerian perspective now. We saw Donald Lookman representing Africa in that regard and finished 14 best. I'm excited from a Nigerian point of view. Before we talk about all the I'm looking forward to describe the Ballon d'Or yesterday, but all the reactions that's happened in the Ballon d'Or. But Donald Lookman, I saw him calm-cooled sitting there in Paris where the Ballon d'Or took place. Now we're talking about John Obi Mikel also being part of it, and he can drop back, co-anchoring it in that direction, and the former president of Liberia, George Ogbonwe, also being the one to hand over the award for the Ballon d'Or winner in the men's category.
Well, I think we'll start off the conversation with Donald Lookman. Quite good, because he's the only African that made, of course, that final list, and certainly it shows you the quality of the man going even forward. But I think I was expecting him to maybe finish above the top 10, particularly. But
just like Victor Osimhen, finish 8th.
Definitely never happened, but I think the man has already shown the world, of course, that he's a quality footballer from Nigeria, that, of course, he can even do more than what we saw, particularly last season. And I think for the man, talking about Donald Lookman going even forward, for the very fact that he met the list, met the cut, certainly shows that he is one to look out for, particularly in seasons to come. Started off of where he left last season, and the man is still continuing from where, of course, he stopped last season. The African, we're talking about for Atalanta, he showcased his level of brilliance and quality. And I think Donald Lookman, for me, stands out as well.
Well, Roland Williams, South African goalkeeper, many regards him as the best goalkeeper in Africa. Also, somehow met the cut, but couldn't win or be in the top 3 of goalkeepers of the year, or the final 5 of goalkeepers of the year. But one way or the other, an African player being nominated for the goalkeeper of the Yashin Trophy is a conversation for him. A big one that speaks volume. And quickly, let's go to the big ones that's happened at the Ballon d'Or. What we saw, Manchester City and Spanish midfielder Rodri winning the men's Ballon d'Or. We should start there, maybe we start from the bottom, but we reserve that for the last, definitely. What we saw, 7 trophies being given, and one of it was the Yashin Trophy. Let's begin from there now. Well, Martinez winning it, the Argentine goalkeeper after leaving Argentina. Back-to-back wins for him. First up, he won it after winning the World Cup. And now the Copa Americana won it, and he's won it again. A penalty saves record about 45% in terms of penalty serve from the man.
Well, I think it's deserving for the man. Talking about, of course, Martinez of Aston Villa. Back at Arsenal, he wasn't, of course, the player or maybe the goalkeeper. Some would actually look at the very fact that he's got quality. Yeah. But you look at in recent tournaments, he stood out. Away from the antics he has on field, there have been, of course, this level of quality and consistency from the man, of course, Martinez, and I think it's deserving. But back-to-back wins for the man now. Never can tell. Maybe he stands up in one tournament and he gets it next year. But at the moment, he deserves this particular trophy.
He deserves this particular trophy. Well, still looking at a picture of it, but we'll get to this particular one. And let's talk about the Ballon d'Or award. Not now. Let's talk about the Copa award now. The young player. Best young player of the year. We're talking about Lamine Yamal becoming the youngest Copa Award winner with David. At just 17 years, what he's done in football, not many people realize that Lamine Yamal is 17. A young player of the year.
Absolutely brilliant. I think it's deserving because I saw it coming already. Despite the fact that he's 17, I want many people to also look at the very fact that this man was a consistent footballer for Barcelona. Yeah. At his age, playing every single game for Barca, all through the entire duration of last season, went to Euros, benched some top names at the Spanish national team, took that number 7 spot as his own, particularly, and showcased his talent. So I think the man deserves this particular award by being the youngest, best player, particularly. But I think my worry would be the very fact that if I look at the nominee list now, Adaguila of Real Madrid finished 2nd, Kobe Mino finished 3rd, and I question why Adaguila is there. Because Adaguila, we saw him during the tail end of the season, and if I want to calculate cumulatively how many minutes he played for Real Madrid last season, was a little over 350-something minutes.
Let me help you there. Who was the star of the Euros?
A star of the Euros?
Yeah.
For how long?
How many assists at the Euros? Big competition.
Kobe Mino made his way through to the finals of the Euros.
Yeah, but it wasn't the start. It wasn't the start for England. Well, we're talking about Adaguila.
How many? Adaguila came off the bench for Real Madrid. And of course, the tail end of the competition.
Turkey.
Where did Turkey finish at the Euros?
Well, a lowly rated country, but they qualified from the group stage.
Mino,
lots of assists.
Who was a present figure in the midfield for the English national team to the finals.
How many
assists? So I feel for me, how many assists did Müller had.
Come on.
Aside the first goal he scored.
Virtually all the goals
Come
scored.
on. We can actually judge him for the particular tournaments he had.
Well,
Rodri,
we know you are
I'm not talking about because Kobe Mino is a Manchester United player. I've got several names who I feel would have made the top 5, but didn't make it. Alejandro Garnacho was a stand-up performer for Manchester United. Kobe Mino was there. And Aguila didn't deserve to be in the top 3 of course, that particular nominee award, particularly. Because I look at, of course, the level of contribution he had. I just feel it's a clear case of contribution, or maybe trying to ensure that Real Madrid are still there, despite Vinicius Junior not winning. He doesn't deserve to be there for me.
Well, where are you taking us to that conversation?
No, he doesn't deserve to be there.
Let's talk about Real Madrid then. The coach of the year and for men and women, well, we talk about Emma Has as well as Coach Ancelotti winning the Ballon d'Or. Remember at the Ballon d'Or ceremony, a day towards it, before the day, everyone thought Vinicius Junior would win it, the Brazilian and the Real Madrid forward. He scored 26 goals, about 12 assists for him. But conversation is a day to the award. Well, everything broke loose and everyone talked about it, said Rodri is winning it, and guess what? The Real Madrid contingent said, we're not going for this award. We boycotted, we're not part of it. A total disrespect for the award, but somehow they found a way to include lots of Real Madrid personalities. Carlo Ancelotti, and many said Carlo Ancelotti wasn't with it, but he won the best coach of the year. Real Madrid won the team of the year. Is that conversation? But Emma Has, a former Chelsea coach, and now the US national team coach, also winning the women's coach of the year. The Gerd Muller Trophy, which indicates the highest goal scorer, also being won by Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe, another Real Madrid player and a French international in that direction. Well, today now, let's talk about the Ballon d'Or itself. It had to be in the women's category. Aitana Bonmati winning for the second time. You look at from Barcelona point of view, she's won everything. From the Champions League, name it.
The water park couple.
Everything.
Absolutely.
Everything you could think of.
Absolutely.
A deserving victory, and all the Barcelona players were second and third.
Yeah, I think deserving for me. I think if you want to talk about, of course, in recent times, the caliber of players that have actually gone through the rounds. I'm talking about the women's national team now in Spain. We would also look at the quality legs that have also, sprung into the rounds here, rather in that particular, scene. We're talking about back-to-back, Ballon d'Or, trophy now for Lady Aitana Bonmati, an absolute, of course, player. Before now, it was all about Adaher Gabek, who was actually dominating this particular, Ballon d'Or. But now, I think it's a turn of Bonmati. I won't be surprised if he wins it next year.
Gabek dominated the FIFA best women's player.
Yeah, at some point he also won the Ballon d'Or.
Alexia
Putellas was there.
Yeah, won it twice.
Absolutely.
Aitana Bonmati is the next that's won it twice.
So I think it's a clear case of dominance from the Spanish women's national team, and I think in all honesty, this is actually deserving.
Quite deserving. Many people say Aitana is a bundle of inspiration for the younger generation, especially the Spanish contingent. Is that conversation? Well, let's talk about a big one now that caused all the controversy before we talk about Eric Ten Hag as well as Mario Balotelli, if time permits. But quickly, it was the 2023-2024 a Ballon d'Or winner, and many people were wondering who would be it. At the end of it was Manchester City and Spanish midfielder, the man Rodri Hernandez, winning it. Utube David, I don't know if it was surprising for you, but we'll have a conversation around all of this. Rodri winning it, you saw the numbers, he's really improved the numbers. Many people, when it was asked by Didier Drogba, how the change came for him, considering the fact that he's beginning to have the numbers now. 12 assists and he scored lots of goals also at the end of it. Well, he said as a defensive midfielder, he had to push up the final third of the field and score lots of goals and give the assists. We've seen last season, 52 games unbeaten for Manchester City in the English Premier League when Rodri plays. Is that factor? And he gave it thanks at the end of it. I will get to hear the speech from Rodri Hernandez in it with his crutches coming up. Remember, he was injured an ACL injury, missing the rest of the season. But Ballon d'Or taken from the hospital, and he came and got the Ballon d'Or.
Well, it comes with, of course, mixed reactions. First of all, because I expected Rodri to make the top 3 of the Ballon d'Or, of course, at least. If I want to look at it, he was actually a stand-up performer, particularly last season and even in the Euros. But then going forward, I still honestly feel that Vinicius Junior somehow have been cheated. I'll state my reasons. Because, first of all, I still don't understand the basis of, being given the Ballon d'Or award. Because over time we've seen a clear case of it being twisted, the stats being also twisted the tournament being also twisted. Some are also of the opinion Rodri was a standard performer for the Manchester City team. No doubt about that. Had a whole lot of assists because of how Manchester City play, or high up the pitch particularly. So you expect, a defensive midfielder to produce those numbers for Manchester City going forward. At the Euros, played 6 games, had 1 goal, particularly for the Spanish national team.
Well, he was the best player at the Euros.
Yeah, was the best player at the Euros, won the Euros. But I'm looking at Vinicius Junior in here as well. A standout performer for Real Madrid, a man who won the UEFA Champions League, won, of course, the UEFA Super Cup as well, and also won the Spanish La Liga. It definitely shows you the quality of Vinicius Junior.
He scored 26 goals.
Absolutely.
So the Champions League knockout stage had 7 goals and assists.
You look at the
knockout stage of the Champions
You
League.
look at the very fact that he had the burden of Real Madrid on his shoulders in terms of delivering, scoring goals. He did not just score goals. He scored goals that brought points, brought victories for Real
Let's
Madrid.
look at a controversy. Prior to this, because Real Madrid has said they're withdrawing from the Ballon d'Or awards, and the awarders, or the organizers of this particular award, this is what they said. They said, look, this year's award considers character.
So
How you behave
Vinicius
in
Junior had
terms
no
of
character.
class. Absolutely, that's been a conversation. And
Well,
go on social media,
I would like-
everybody's talking about
I would like them to
his
explain what
reaction.
character
And
is.
one of those conversations was in the game between the El Clasico, Barcelona against Real Madrid. Barcelona got better of Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabeu
Interesting.
4-0. And Gavi indicated 4 fingers to Vinicius Junior, telling him it's 4-0. And Vinicius told him, let's win at the Ballon d'Or, I'm winning it. Responding, he's been the most racially abused player in world football, and is speaking up.
This is-
and
this
the
is-
controversy and
this
the
is
shocking
laughable.
part is
This is
everyone is
laughable.
saying he doesn't have good character just because he's speaking up.
I was going there because I wanted them to explain, of course, vividly why they said he lacked. Of course, he didn't win the award because of character. What type of character are we talking about?
He's not beating anybody in the field.
He's not beating anybody. He's not
only
beating
defended
anybody.
himself.
We're talking about a man who over time has been abused severally on match
And he
days
has to
because
speak
he's
up.
a black man.
Has kicked
I
so
don't-
many times.
I don't understand, of course, the character and of course the
So
aspect
you
of the
think
conversation.
the problem is racially?
It is racially. That's why they didn't give it to Vinicius Junior. That's how I look at it. He's the best player we saw last season, and undoubtedly for me, he deserved this particular Ballon d'Or at the expense of Rodri.
All right, a big congratulations, first of all, to Rodri from Spectrum TV. Absolutely fantastic.
And that one would ask
Ballon d'Or
questions.
winner.
One would ask questions. Since you gave it to Rodri, why not give the best team of the year to Manchester City? Why not give it to Pep Guardiola, the
Why
best
not give
UEFA
it to
men's
Spain?
coach? So definitely. Why not give it to the La Fuente
Yeah.
of the national team? So these are question marks that still spark several reactions, and that's why I think Vinicius Junior would have been here and not Rodri.
Well, what do you think the organizers of the French award should do in this direction when you have this kind of controversy? Because personally, I begin to feel maybe they should have given 2 awards. One for football reason and one for their personal character award. We probably needed to give it to
We've never seen in the history of Ballon d'Or nominee giving, of course, awards to.
It's not impossible because you look at the Get Muller award. It was given to 2 players, Harry
Absolutely.
Kane and Mbappe.
Well, it was actually shared because 2 of them were the best goal scorers. And the Ballon d'Or nominee, one has to be separated. We don't have, of course, 2 nominees particularly. But my worry is the basic fact that we still do not have any stipulated rules as regards why players win the Ballon d'Or. The last Ballon d'Or that was actually won by Lionel Andres Messi was the very fact that he won the FIFA World Cup, particularly. So I'm looking at...
But even the case of Lionel Messi, the time has the stated and said, look, within this time frame to this time frame, not including the World Cup, but Messi's here awarded.
Interesting.
At the end of it, the conversation will be that of voting. What lots of journalists that are voting, what their interests are in it now. The first time the Ballon d'Or became a world football award was in 1995 when the man George Ogbonwe, the former president of Liberia, won it. And since that, it's been all about the best footballer of the year. Previously, it was a European best. And maybe they're resetting without telling us to a European best footballer. But David, thank you for being a part of it.
A pleasure as always. We look forward to my Vinicius doing better and better going forward.
Well, so we draw the curtain on today's edition of Sports Central. Big question is, what does Vinicius Junior have to do to win the Ballon d'Or? Maybe should he continue to boycott the Ballon d'Or? Only time will tell. We draw the curtains here. Thank you for being a part of it. Big thanks to everyone who made this production possible. Thank you, and be balanced. Tomorrow is another day.